This is To the Rescue Authentic Networking. I'm Jennifer Johnson, Executive Director of TTR Networking and a relationship marketing coach. This show is all about the authentic business networking, relationship building, and the success strategies used by our members to grow their businesses and give back to local nonprofits. Be sure to stay up to date. Subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the bell to get notifications of new episodes. And please visit our website, www.ttrnetworking.com. Now, on with the show.
Welcome to our show, To the Rescue Authentic Networking. I am Nicole Williams, along with my co-hosts, Jennifer Johnson and Don Evans Casey. Jennifer, how are you doing today?
I am doing very well. It's a beautiful day, and we are very, very fortunate today. We have a great guest. All of our guests are great, but when they're on the show, they are the greatest. So Claire is the greatest today, and we have Clair Miller, and I got to put my glasses on because I cannot read without it. But Clair Miller is the former sales manager for a family entertainment center that was unable to reopen after the pandemic or during the pandemic. She is currently working on personal professional development and utilizing networking to support former employees, co-workers, and colleagues. And I guess we can call her the professional matchmaker or a matchmaker of professionals. I think that's pretty cool. You know what? There is a business out there for that. You know, there really is. So Clair Miller, thank you for being at our show today. We're very glad you're here. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, what we always like to do, my first question is, you think I would know this without having to read it, right? Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and how, well, we know how the state of all this COVID-19 thing has affected you in your business world. So we'll just turn it over to you and we'll sit and listen. So here's Clair Miller.
Well, thank you. So like Jennifer said, I am Claire. I'm the former sales manager from a family entertainment center. Unfortunately, we were unable to reopen. This decision was made back in July. So from March until July, I was able to gain a lot of experience in a couple different avenues of sales. So working on my marketing and able to switch my focus to non-for-profit and kind of just getting our name out there. And then unfortunately, we decided not to reopen back in July.
So that did, you know, and a couple weeks ago, when I was trying to, figure out who was going to be on the show, I was like, Claire's a perfect one to be on and talk about this, because we've had so many of our guests are members. Typically, they're usually that's what we're focused on. We've had maybe one guest that wasn't a member of TTR, and we're up to like 26. I think you're number 26, Claire. But it was kind of one of those things where I thought Claire can talk so clearly about, and the good thing is, Claire, her business may not have reopened. You were the entertainment manager. You were the sales manager. What is it? I'm sorry. The sales manager. But you've taken this opportunity to get really involved in the networking groups, and you're now going back to school, right?
Yes. I have decided to rebrand myself, going back to school and getting a certification and learning Spanish.
Oh yes, she did. She talked about that the other day. So isn't that cool? But what a cool thing. So it wasn't really kind to you, the pandemic, but it did, on the other hand, open up some doors for you that now every time you're on a meeting, it's like, she's just seeming so happy, and and you're now learning Spanish too. Yeah. How cool is that?
It's really important to rebrand, but also to refocus. So, work has always defined me. And so taking a new opportunity to focus on family and personal goals. So I've always wanted to learn Spanish. Then what better time than during a pause?
So she's had a pause. So that's pretty cool. And like I said, I was worried. I really was worried when I found out. I think you had emailed me as well as a number of other contacts, I'm sure, but that you were, that they weren't going to reopen. And I was, oh, that's a bummer. And then the next thing I get an email, or I don't even know if you sent me an email, but I was on a call or something. Yeah, I'm just going to stay in here. What a great idea. That's what networking is all about. So I'm excited for you. And we're just happy that you have not deserted us, because not only do I think that, I do think it's good to keep in touch with people, but you're bringing all kinds you had like right after, I'm sorry, ladies, I get really excited because she's such a perfect example of how she's turned this around, but you had the opportunity to give quite a bit back to some of the local nonprofits too, that you had. I don't know, I don't want to say you inherited, but you inherited some stuff some toys and stuff like that, right? So.
Yeah, we were able to donate to over $20,000 worth of food, toys, and to local non-for-profits, which was very dear to my heart. We spent a couple weeks organizing and making those connections, and actually a connection through TTR is who we ended up donating the toys and food. So it was a great cause.
So TTR strikes again. I don't know, I'm just kidding you, but thank you. And I know that Nicole, we've got other questions. I just get so excited. It's like, go ahead.
Well, we are so glad you are here, Claire, and I love this difficult time with the pandemic and all these changes, and then how you're rebranding yourself, you're refocusing family. I love it. I love it. I love it. One thing I was going to ask, in our show, in our title, we have authentic, and means being genuine, being you, and we just wonder what authentic means to you.
So to be authentic to me, it just means being real. I feel when your clients can trust you, it's being authentic. It's not selling the highest item, but selling to the needs of your guest.
Yeah.
I
love that.
You hit it on the head right there.
I love that. Thank you. Well,
that's a good job.
Hey, Claire, I'm going to welcome you now and just say it is awesome to have a conversation with an individual such as yourself that's a little bit different than the norm for us. And I'm looking forward to finding out more about you and what you're doing now. A lot of people get stuck in the rut of change has happened and then they're stagnant, but you've just taken the opportunity, opened it up and run with it. So wow, yay to you. I'm wondering, so when you started making your change to rebrand and address all opportunities that were in front of you, how did you or how are you reaching out to meet new people and connect with the people that were going to become important to your rebranding, and finding the folks who you wanted to interact with to help make a difference for your growth and the new Clair business?
Well, the good thing about networking is it's all in who you know and who you can support with who you know, but it's also everyone else in the group knows people too. So I've taken this opportunity to, during my asks during TTR, I asked for specific industries to help get employment for my former employees. Unfortunately, we had to let a lot of people go. And that is what I do for my ask, is try to find connections, contacts, open positions for former employees of mine.
I think
so.
Go ahead.
A lot of it was about the ask. It was, you already knew that you were connected to a bunch of people who had opportunities and things going on that could help. And the ask was the connection to that to make it all happen for you, right?
For sure.
Great.
You know what? Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And I was going to say, people, we put people on this show or this video cast to highlight people need to know. if people knew the work that Claire put in prior to this closing of the entertainment company, I mean, and that's what networking is. It is work. You were in our groups and you did a lot of great things. We hosted, you allowed us to host meetings there. I know that, there was an exchange, we got food and that kind of good stuff. But you also gave a lot of great referrals to people without any kind of, you were serving all of us. Not only were you working for this great company that was there, and we were taking advantage of the opportunity to have meetings, but you were coming to our meetings, and you were giving. And that's why I guess what I'm getting around to is networking is not just sitting there and soaking, how many referrals can I get? It's how much can you give? And you may have to give a lot before it really turns in. And that's what Claire did. She laid the groundwork so that she would have never known this. None of us ever know when things are going to change like this, right? So she then turned around and now she knows. And I'm just so glad because not everybody would have done that. The minute the company would have closed, they would have been on to, oh, that's, I'm not going to do anything. Why do I need to be meeting with these people every week? Well, because they know, like, and trust you. They weren't networking with you because you were a main event. Oops, sorry. They weren't there because of the connection to that business. It was because they liked you. And I remember many times walking in there and talking to you about, well, I know a couple times anyway, I'd come in and say, this is what I want to do. And you know what? She wasn't just, yes, Jennifer, that'll work. She was like, oh, I don't know if that'll work. Maybe your plan should be altered. I mean, she was that was what she did. So it worked out really, anyway, I don't know. I just get pretty excited that she's still hanging around. And I think we're going to be able to, not hanging around. She's still part of it and giving. She's all about giving. She already gave, what did you say? $20,000 or something worth of stuff. And I realized you didn't want that stuff sitting around your own, but you didn't have to even take it on, I don't think. Did you?
I did not, but I did, as a company, we wanted to make sure it went to a good cause.
You're just a good person. Wow. Well, and the questions that we always have, and you've already said that you've done the $20,000 worth of stuff, went to somebody that was a connection through the TTR network. But do you have any other stories? I mean, not let alone the fact that we used you for quite a bit. And that turned into some business. I realized, but did you have any other stories like that or anything that?
Let's see. I did make a really great connection with Make-A-Wish. So I was able to connect Make-A-Wish with the Pacers. Obviously, unfortunately during this time, organizations are struggling to get the funds, but they still have a mission in mind. So we were able to put together, I helped make the connection. They ran with the idea, but they were able to do a virtual gaming for Make-A-Wish kids with Pacers. So it was pretty cool.
Oh, that is a really good story. And you know what? I would just say, I'm sitting here looking at the questions. I would just, the big thing I would say, even now, she's still, I've already said this, but she keeps coming to the meetings asking how she can help us. Not, hey guys, although we all know, if we know somebody that, because we know her now, it's not, okay. Anyway, I guess that's the end of my questions. I'll move it right over to Dawn again. And I think she's already talked about the nonprofits, but go ahead.
She has. And that's a big part of TTR. We not only want to encourage and support our businesses to thrive, but we want to see our communities and our nonprofits around us also thrive. And we know that right now is a real challenging time, as you had mentioned earlier. For a lot of nonprofits, donations are down, contributions are down, and there is a lot of need out there. You mentioned Make-A-Wish. You mentioned the $20,000 in items that you were able to get into the hands of folks who need it. those materials and those monies. Can you tell us a little bit more about the types of, maybe the themes of the nonprofits and the purpose that you're interested in supporting? Are there particular pathways that you're interested in being a part of and continuing to lend your time, talent, and treasures to?
Yeah, so during this pause, I was able to make connections, and I've worked with secret families before. I have been able to make connections with Kids Voice of Indiana, and like I mentioned before, Make-A-Wish. So I look forward to diving deeper into those relationships, and I would love one-on-ones to see what I can do to support non-for-profit organizations. I'm always here to help support others. So
Wonderful. Wonderful. And if you're aware of activities and fundraisers for those organizations that you're interested in, we're interested in finding out, as a part of the TTR Cares and all of our 14 groups, we're always looking for opportunities to give back and do more. So something that you may be focused on certainly might be an opportunity for all of us to get our efforts behind and support. So please continue to share those with us as well.
for sure.
I think all along, though, I'm jumping on top of it, but Claire has always been about, I think that was one of your things you always asked, or you always made very clear, that you wanted the connections with the nonprofits. Mm-hmm. And what a lucky nonprofit it would be to get to have Claire working for them. You know what I mean? I don't know if you want to be in the nonprofit world, but you definitely have a lot of connection, and it's obviously something you're very passionate about. So it's really kind of exciting to think, here she's still working like crazy, even though she's in a pause. Did you hear her say she's in a pause, ladies?
I love it.
We're all saying, we're saying pandemic, it's like, but she's saying it's a pause. Although she's not pausing, she's learning Spanish. So
yeah,
she's already started a class, right? So cool.
Oh, okay. I was thinking you're gonna teach it. No, I was thinking you were teaching class. Maybe down the road. No. That's so awesome. Well, I know we're going to have lots of listeners that might want to reach out to you, whether they might have, can help with nonprofits or ideas. How can we reach out to you? How can we find you?
So my personal email is usually the best. I love email. So my personal email is clmiller2113@gmail.com. I'm also very active on LinkedIn and Facebook. So I welcome all connections.
And I think she's still one of our members on our website, because she is a member. And you don't have to be fully employed or know what you're exactly doing, because it is about serving, right? So cool. Good question.
That's the one thing I really love about TTR networking is it's not about just spitting out your 10-second elevator speech. It's about building relationships. And I consider everyone in our groups a friend as well as a colleague. And it's great to be able to refer people to my friends. So.
Oh my goodness.
I feel the same.
I think that's the end of it. I think we throw the mic drop or whatever, throw the mic down. No.
The mic down.
Did you know that our last, or one of our questions to kind of wind us up was, can you please leave us with final thoughts? But that was a great final thought. That was a great final thought. Is your cat joining us today?
I guess she's going to be feisty. So I'm just going to kind of just pet her. She likes to use a redecorator. Anybody needs a redecorator? Free of charge.
Well, you know what, Claire? I know that you were, we planned this a couple of weeks ago, and I would just, which we do with all of our, our guests, but, and we kind of skim through the questions, and I feel like if we're seeing something that, that you have already answered in another question, I don't usually answer our question, ask it again. But is there anything that you did give that great final thought, but is there anything that you see in the notes that you would like to make sure that we share about you, or how can we, one thing I would say, you know, we do want to get people to go back to our website. So that's great. But what else do you, because you're in a couple groups. So
Yeah.
you can find.
Yep. I'm lucky to be a member of 2. And I did read through the questions, but I wanted to make sure I focused on that last question of having a final thought. So I actually wrote it down so I don't mess up.
You did great.
So I have a couple. So the first one is, you know, I really want everyone to make sure that you take every situation and find positivity in it. During this time, it's hard to be positive, but it is important. I'm taking this pause as an opportunity to rebrand myself and, most importantly, to support others. Unemployment can be a difficult situation, but during this time, it's important to know what is really important in life, and it's not just your job that defines you. So my last thought is, if there's anyone out there that I have worked with or that knows me or wants to get to know me, that has been laid off or furloughed or needs any support, please reach out. Let me know how I can support you, and I'd be honored to get to know more people. So that is my mic drop.
I was gonna say I was gonna say that was pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yes, that's awesome.
Very good mic drop moment. Yes.
How about pen drop?
Pen drop. Yes, I do have a mic in the other room, but it would take too long for me to get it. But Claire, I knew that you would have some really. What, your cat is getting right in the way.
I told you, she's feisty. I have to be careful.
Bet she is. But you know what? We are so fortunate, Claire, that you've been part of us, the TTR network. So we thank you very much for your time today. And I think it's just a great attitude and that moment where you're like, you're in a pause. You're just in a pause. You know, it's just what a cool thing, you know? So thank you. Nicole, you wanna, let's see.
Yes, I want to thank you so much, Claire, for being our guest today. Such an honor. We would like to thank everybody for watching our show. And until next time, may all your days be filled with authenticity.
It's good to me. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.